glad that, I mean, for me at least, I've got a solar system in my house, so I don't need to worry whether ESCOM is going to increase it by 15 or 100%. That's not an issue for me. But the critical point is that the most vulnerable people are the ones that are going to be affected. And as a result of that, we need to take cognizance of the fact that, I mean, especially those who are living in rural areas, if we don't address socio-economic challenges that they're facing there, the movement of people from rural area to urban areas is going to be a problem. And remember, the infrastructure that has been planned around our cities was not catered for people like Sylvester, who is from Limpopo, who is an economic migrant in Gauteng province. And this is the reality. That is why you realize that, I mean, we also need to also factor issues related to spatial planning. If you look at the legislation policy strategies for agriculture sector in South Africa, we have tried our level best to highlight the fact that the policies have been driven by incremental agenda, emanating increasing production and food security. For us, food security is a very, very important point, and that is what government is also factoring in when they talk about land expropriation. And we also got the responsibility to make sure it's not just only a matter of getting land. The land needs also to be used in a sustainable manner. Not all of us, I mean, we're interested to get land, but those who are interested, well, good luck. It's an opportunity for them to sustain the economy of this country, and also to address some socio-economic ills that we are facing here. I've highlighted the National Climate Change Response Policy, which also takes cognizance of the role played by land department or agriculture sector. I've already touched this slide. One of the issues that I'm going to highlight is especially urbanization and poverty. Some people, I mean, when we talk about, I mean, a silo approach, they think maybe we are sort of trying to venture into their territory. That is not the reality. The fact of the matter is that we would like these sectors to work together in order to harmonize our activities, in order to create the trade-offs, in order to make sure that, I mean, we don't duplicate activities. Political dynamics, as you are aware that, I mean, during the time of former President Mbeki or Mandela, there were government programs that were initiated. A very good example is the GIPSA program. And there are also other programs that were discontinued when the new leadership, I mean, took over. What I'm trying to say is that we have got the responsibility to make sure that, I mean, whoever is going to take over, we need to continue with some of the programs due to the fact that we are investing a lot of time, resources, human capacity, and so on. If we work together across sectors, we'll be able to address some of these issues. Linking the water, energy, food Nexus story to sustainable development goals. And colleagues, we also need to be mindful of the fact that before the SDG goals or indicators or targets were developed prior to 2015, we had Millennium Development Goals. And we know what happened. We couldn't meet some of the targets for various reasons. And we don't want to fall into the same trap. I'm glad that at least for the SDGs, there have been various events or forums that talks about, I mean, reporting and harmonization of activities. For me, again, this goal 2, we really need to address it in a very, very sustainable manner. And also making sure that, I mean, our people are given opportunity to derive agricultural activities in such a way that we will be able to feed the population, I mean, of this country. And the problem is that, I mean, this goal 2, the zero hunger, is also going to be compounded by by the VAT increase that we had recently. And we need to think about it. If Mr. Mboweni comes with another VAT, then we are in serious trouble. If we look at goal 6, clean water and sanitation. I don't need to emphasize, I mean, the water quality issues that we're facing in this country. You know the story. But for us as Water Research Commission, we do believe that if we work together, the agriculture sector is also a culprit. We are discharging some of the chemicals or herbicides into, I mean, our river system or environment. So as a result, it's a problem. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. As I've indicated to you earlier on, it's not it's about, I mean, energy mix. We need to do that. Same applies with the water sector. Water sector also need to look at the water mix. Let us not only rely on rainfall. Let us also look at groundwater options. Let us look at the one which is controversial, the desalination. If other countries in the Middle East are driving that, why not? I know there are cost implications, but we need to think about that due to the fact that, I mean, the rainfall distribution keeps on fluctuating, and most of the time we're getting below normal rainfall. The other one that I would also like to highlight is this one, life on land. At the beginning of my presentation, I've raised a few questions to say, yes, we need to address land issues. There's no way that we're going to run away from that. But we also need to come up with a framework or mechanisms how, especially now I'm talking, I mean, wearing, I mean, the water sector hat. How are we going to allocate water? How is the governance system going to look like? And we also need to learn from the current challenges that we're facing. If you look at the irrigation schemes in the country, government is investing millions. But if you look at the return value, still very, very minimal. Only few irrigation schemes in Limpopo and KwaZulu-Natal and the one here in Northwest, the Valas. At least they are providing positive results. But if you look at the majority of those irrigation schemes, the most key challenges that we are facing, we are facing there, is water governance issues and the people who are allocating waters, and the fact that, I mean, there are also some political dynamics. Some people are driving their own agenda. But if we want to make sure that we address this, we need to bring in various actors or players. Colleagues, I don't want to take your time, but to conclude my story, the application of water energy food nexus is particularly relevant when considering the recent proposed policy shift on land expropriation, which will significantly influence land utilization depending on the policies associated with it. And currently, various governmental departments, I've just cited a few. I'm not saying these are specific departments that are doing that. There are also other departments that are also doing that. Generally, approach resource management in isolation without considering the usage of water, energy, and land by other sectors, which is still a problem. I understand that at technical level, at least various scientists are working together to address water, energy, food nexus. At policymakers, there are efforts that have been made so far. We are communicating, I mean, with the various policymakers. At political level, we need to make sure that, I mean, we teach our politicians to understand the synergies or the trade-offs and the intersectoral linkages. I understand that, I mean, they need to produce results, but at the same time, they also have got the responsibility to make sure that they drive their activities or policies in a sustainable manner. The other point is that these major challenges in South African policy making, especially when referring to country-limited water availability, the scarcity of high potential arable land, and its reliance on fossil fuel-based energy generation. Colleagues, this is a fact. Our economy is based on energy intensive, and we are getting the products, I mean, or we are using coal to drive some of the energy activities. if you look at countries like US, they are overprotective, and it's not like maybe I'm supporting whatever stories that Donald Trump is talking about, but for them, it's about protecting the economy of the country and also making sure that, they sustain that economy for various means. I think for us, the message from the president has been very clear. We need to drive the energy mix story. And furthermore, it is predicted that climate change will have negative impact on the availability of resources in South Africa, where ecosystem services, rainfall frequency and distribution, and natural disaster will impact the reliability of the ecosystem. Program Director, I'm not sure if I should go through this, but do you want me to go through it? Those colleagues who are familiar with the Water Research Commission Lighthouse or flagship programs, you realize that we have got 7 programs so far that deals with various thematic areas, including the water, energy, food nexus that I coordinate. We also have got climate change lighthouse or program. We also have got programs that deals with water scarcity and extreme climatic events, programs that deals with climate change, water governance, green economy, and so on. For us, now I'm talking about just focusing specifically on water, energy, food nexus. These are the 13 thematic areas that we have identified based on the work that we have completed with our colleagues from University of KwaZulu-Natal. And I think, Program Director, this is an opportunity for colleagues to look at this, all these thematic areas. We will advertise these thematic areas annually. We have already started doing that. This one there that is highlighted with red color. If you go to the Water Research Commission website, there's call for concept note, and believe me, we receive more than 30 concept note that I need to go through it. It shows that the interest that our community of practice has developed. And as a result of that, we believe that for the next 12 months, we will be focusing on this. Next year, call for proposals. We will pick up one of the themes and also put it on the WRC website so that academics, researchers, policymakers, or private consultants will also have got an opportunity to look at that. I'm not going to go point by point, but suffice to say that you can see the thematic areas that we have identified. The good thing is that we are not only focusing on national issues. We are linking those national issues with what is happening in the SADC Secretariat. SADC Secretariat has got a program 8 that deals with water, energy, food nexus. It's funded by EU. I sit in the technical committee for that organization. Besides that, Water Research Commission has been, all over across the globe. For the past 5 years, we've been presenting our water, energy, food nexus story at the International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage. We've been presenting results at the Stockholm World Water Week. We've been presenting results at Sustainable Development Conference in Geneva. And next year, we're going to present the same water, energy, food nexus story at the 3rd World Irrigation Forum in Indonesia. So, and we are also presenting later this month, or next week in fact, we are presenting water, energy, food nexus at the WaterNet Symposium in Zambia. We are building a community of practice, and if you read this report, we are talking about building a pool of experts who will drive water, energy, food nexus, not only focusing on South Africa, but across the SADC region, across the continent, and also maybe taking funding from the international organization. We are on the move. I urge you to join us, otherwise you're going to miss the bus. So for us as Water Research Commission, this is our investment for the next 10 years. I'm giving you an opportunity so that, those who would like to take pictures, you are welcome to do that. Potential, sector policy harmonization, fuel-based energy security and food security, water usage by energy generation technology type. These are all thematic areas that we are going to push very hard. And I'm glad that, some of you who are sitting in this room, you are also working with the Water Research Commission. My sister Inga from CSIR, in fact, before she moved to CSIR, she also helped me to panel bid this. And the other issue is the fact that program director. This is the baby initiated by Dhesigen Naidoo. I'm just a messenger. He dumped this program on me and said, I want results. I scratched my head. I say, it's either I deliver the results or I jumped through the window. I'm happy to say that results are coming. In fact, we were joking yesterday when we were saying it seems like publications coming from Water Energy Food Nexus and also conference proceedings. It's like water leaking from the main system. And I said, yes, but you really pushed me very hard. So colleagues, to conclude my story is to say, let us take this journey together. There are funding opportunities from Water Research. It's not enough, but we'll try our level best to make sure that at least we address basic needs, and the science community should take advantage of what we are putting it on the table. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Dhesigen was supposed to do this presentation, but I guess I've tried my level best to sort of emulate him. If you've got any questions or comment, you're welcome to ask me that. Then I'm going to share with you the report that Water Research Commission. This is not the only report, but this is the latest one. If you need more information, you can go to the WRC website and to get detailed information. I thank you.